Welcome to 12 things that I'll be looking for in Portland's 2019 preseason. This video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Want a great, easy, and convenient way to buy tickets? Then check out SeatGeek and use my promo code BlazersUprise to save $20 off your first ticket purchase. It's a great way for you to get a great deal on tickets, and it also helps me out. Also, share this code with your friends and help them out as well. This code is good for any Blazers game and is good for a number of other events as well. So go to SeatGeek.com, search your event, and use the promo code BlazersUprise on checkout to save yourself $20. Now, here's 12 things that I'll be watching for this preseason. The 12th thing I'll be looking for is what attire Terry Stotts wears. It's the 50th anniversary season and the Blazers are rocking some sick throwbacks. The court is a throwback court as well, so I'm expecting Terry Stotts to do what he's done in the past and have nights where he throws it back to Dr. Jack. I'm looking forward to seeing Stotts in some bow ties and definitely a lot of plaid. The 11th thing that I'll be looking for this preseason is Gary Trent versus Nasir Little. Now these are two young wings who haven't had a chance yet in the NBA. Gary Trent Jr. going into second year, Nasir Little is a rookie. Both are kind of in a similar position on the roster in my opinion. They're not set to play any rotational minutes, but they'll make their case for them this preseason. I'm very interested to watch both this preseason and see who looks better. The 10th thing that I'll be looking for this preseason is more lob passes. Portland finally has an elite lob target in Hassan Whiteside. Whiteside's height of 7 feet, as well as his wingspan of 7 feet 7 inches, makes it extremely easy for this guy to dunk. He's also not a bad athlete, and those combination of things makes him the best lob target that Damian Lillard will have ever had. Damian Lillard doesn't throw many lob passes, but I'm very curious to see if that's a product of Damian Lillard not liking to throw lob passes and not being comfortable with them, or if it was because of the personnel that surrounded him. We'll get our first taste of that this preseason, and I'm looking forward to Dame possibly throwing a lot more lobs to Hassan Whiteside. And this doesn't just go for Dame, this goes for the entire roster. There's also some solid lob targets outside of Whiteside, as Mario Hezonja is very athletic and he's a big 6'8", 6'9". Zach Collins is also another 7-footer in the starting lineup for Dame to throw lobs to, and he's probably the best lob catching power forward that the Blazers have had since LaMarcus Aldridge. The 9th thing that I'll be watching is Rodney Hood's defense. Now Rodney Hood went to Kobe Bryant's camp for NBA players this past offseason, and one of the things he said he picked Kobe's brain about was defense. With Maurice Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu gone, Rodney Hood is going to need to step up his game defensively, and given some of his comments during training camp, I am very hopeful that will be the case. Not only did Kobe's camp help him realize some of the things he needed to do defensively, Rodney Hood also said that it helped him realize that he just needs to prepare more from game to game. That means watching more film on the opponent that he'll be matching up against, and hopefully becoming a little bit more comfortable with their tendencies. While defense is a lot of hustle and heart, a big portion of it is also mental. If Rodney Hood is able to be a smarter defender, hopefully we'll start to see that this preseason. The 8th thing that I'll be looking for this preseason is the Portland Trail Blazers using Damian Lillard off the ball a little bit more. I think it's harder to guard guys when they're used off the ball. When you watch Golden State, they get Steph Curry a ton of great shots based on Steph Curry playing off the ball. Now Steph Curry is also a good cutter, and he's constantly moving without the ball. This is something that I think Damian Lillard could add to his game so that he's able to work less to get better shots, and I think it's something that could raise his efficiency. If Terry Stotts and the coaching staff is putting in sets and making it an area of focus to use Dame off the ball, I think that's something that we'll start to see in our first preseason game. The 7th thing that I'll be watching this preseason is the battle for 15, and what I mean by that is the battle for the 15th roster spot, which I assume will go unused headed into the season, but there's a number of guys that can make their case with strong preseason play. If that 15th spot were to go to a player, the favorite in my opinion is Jalen Horde, who right now is on a 2-way contract, but he definitely has the potential to show out this preseason and be the 15th man on the roster. I'll also be very interested in watching Moses Brown. Brown is extremely tall and extremely lanky, and he's not a bad athlete for his size. Although he doesn't have a developed NBA body at this point, if he's able to show the skill and instincts required this preseason, Portland might elect to have him as their 15th man on the roster, viewing him as a long-term project. Portland could also go with guard London Parentes or guard Troy Copane. I could see Portland going with either one of these guards because they do have a little bit of NBA experience, they're smart players, and Portland could use another backup point guard. The 6th thing that I'll be watching this preseason is how comfortable does Anthony Simons look running the bench unit. Now we all know Simons' role will increase mightily this year compared to his rookie season, and he'll be a regular part of the rotation. One of the responsibilities Simons will have this season will be running the second unit as a ball-dominant guard. One of the things I'm curious to see this preseason is just how comfortable does Simons look in that role, and if he's able to fill that role adequately right off the bat, then I have a lot of hope for him going into the season, as he'll only improve. The fifth thing that I'll be watching for is our dual rim protection with Zach Collins and Hassan Whiteside. I'm very excited to see these two elite shot blocking rim protectors in the starting lineup together, and when you combine the power forward and the center position, I think we might have the best rim protection duo in the entire league. The only two players that could rival this is Philadelphia's Al Horford and Joel Embiid. Now I'm very excited to see these guys playing together, as I want to see just how smothered the defensive coverage is around the rim and just how hard it is for guards to drive the lane and get up shots inside. The fourth thing that I'll be looking for is fast break offense. Portland has been one of the slowest paced teams in the past few seasons, but going into this training camp, there have been numerous quotes talking about how Portland wants to speed up the pace. Now you can make the argument that Portland has a personnel that's much more suited to run and gun. Anthony Simons is very fast, and once he has a head of steam going downhill, he's a major threat in transition. When you look at Mario Hezonja, who we'll get to in a little bit, he's also a guy who's very quick and solid with the ball in his hands, and he has the potential to be a very lethal player in transition. Now, while Portland's starting lineup might not run much more than they have in the past, a slight uptick would be nice to see, and I think it would help the team get much easier buckets. However, that second unit could be one of the fastest paced units in the league with Simons, Bazemore, Hezonja, and whoever rounds out that unit. I'm definitely curious to see just how much Portland pushes the pace, and we'll get our first glimpse of that this preseason. The third thing that I'll be watching for this preseason is Mario Hezonja, the point forward. Now, at the end of last season with the New York Knicks, Mario Hezonja got put in a point forward role, and he had some success. Now, this wasn't against any elite NBA teams other than a game against the Houston Rockets, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting more of a sample size of Mario Hezonja in this role. Now, quotes coming out of training camp are saying that Mario Hezonja is excelling in this role in preseason scrimmages, and I'm curious to see if that translates over to game action. If Mario Hezonja can be a point forward distributor off the bench, pushing the ball in transition and making plays for others, then he could be a very good player on this roster. The second thing that I'll be looking for this preseason is an uptick in ball movement. Portland has struggled to move the ball in previous seasons, and they're always near the bottom in assists. I think this makes Portland's offense easier to guard, as it often bogs down to isolation and one-on-one play. I think it's very important for Portland to move the ball better this preseason, and it's something that I'll be looking heavily for. And the number one thing that I'll be watching this preseason is Hassan Whiteside's passing. Hassan Whiteside has never been a passing big man. His career passing numbers are horrible. They're basically non-existent. However, this preseason, it came as a surprise to hear Hassan Whiteside say that he thinks that he can get a triple-double with points, rebounds, and assists at some point this season. Hassan Whiteside has already been quoted numerous times saying things along the lines of that he was limited in Miami and wasn't really able to make reads. He wasn't put in a position where he could make basketball plays for himself or other teammates. He says one of the things he's looking forward to in Terry Stotts' offense is that Stotts relies heavily on his bigs to pass the ball. In the past, Stotts has turned Mason Plumlee and Yusuf Nurkic into good passing big men. Now, Hassan Whiteside thinks that he has the ability to be a good passing big man as well, and we'll see if Terry Stotts can work his magic with his hardest case yet. If Hassan Whiteside is able to become a good passing big man, then I'll be of the belief that Terry Stotts can turn any center into a good passer. This is the number one thing I'm watching for this preseason, because we should immediately be able to get a glimpse of whether or not Hassan Whiteside is being more unselfish with the ball or not. He said that in training camp he has been getting a lot of assists and been making the right passes, and I'm very curious to see if this translates over to game action. So anyway, that's 12 things that I'll be watching from the Portland Trail Blazers this offseason. Let me know down in the comment section below if there's something I missed and if there's something you'll be watching for that wasn't on this list. So with that, that's a wrap for this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, peace out, go Blazers.